Please welcome to the stage Chris Erasmus, General Manager for Amazon Web Services, South Africa.
Good morning, Johannesburg. Well, I'm so excited to be here today, and I was walking around the expo hall earlier on, and it's just incredible to see the energy in the room here throughout the convention center, and I really hope you enjoy everything that we have to share with you today. It's so great to welcome so many of our customers, our AWS partners, our AWS builders, and thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. I want to remind you that today is not a sales and marketing conference. As always with AWS, it is a learning and community building event. So please take the time to connect with your peers, to get to know each other, and to learn from each other. And with that, I'm excited to share, we have over 90 sessions. More than 60 of those are breakout sessions. We have around 17 workshops and hands-on labs. And more than 45 sponsor sessions and booths. So please take the time to spend there. I'm also going to implore you to please go past the expo hall, go have a look and see what our partners have to share with you. Visit the AWS village as well. And if there's anything you need to know from a specialist, please, everyone's on hand, go and grab them. We've also got a dedicated innovation and generative AI zone. So if you want to learn about building on AWS and you're interested in innovation or generative AI, that team can help you as well. And for the motorsport fans or machine learning fans, we have a deep racer as well as a Formula One game day where you can get hands-on experience in a risk-free environment. So please take the time to do that as well. And for those of you that haven't downloaded the app, please take the time now. I know that it's on the back of your lanyard as well. Download the app. It can help you navigate through the day. I want to take this moment to thank our sponsors, without whom there's no way we could have put on an event the size of this, the scale of this. So thank you very much. I'm also happy to say, and we can see it by the attendance today, the AWS community in SSA is absolutely thriving. We have tens of thousands of active customers in sub-Saharan Africa today. We have over 6,000 registered partners that are helping us to build and helping you to build and deliver on business value. The Cape Town region has over 160 active services, and we continue to build and we continue to grow from that perspective as well. But I do want to take a second to just talk about Africa and the fact that we are incredibly proud as AWS to call Africa our home. We're celebrating 20 years of presence on the continent this year. And Cape Town was essentially the spiritual home of AWS, where we started to develop some of the services that we all know and love and leverage today. And we still do that today. And that's essentially been the foundation for us to continue to invest across the continent for the last 20 years. Starting with South Africa, since we announced the AWS Cape Town region in 2018, we've invested 15.6 billion rand into infrastructure to meet scaling demand from our customers. And we've committed a further 30.4 billion rand by the end of 2029 in order to continue to drive this growth and continue to serve you, our customers. And whether it's through opening new office locations like Johannesburg in 2015, through to the development center in 2023 in Kenya, or enabling the Direct Connect backbone for AWS from our perspective, or launching local zones in Nigeria, or the 3 availability zone Cape Town region in 2022, we've seen this accelerating drumbeat of investment in the continent, specifically in sub-Saharan Africa, as we see this as an incredibly strategic area of growth for us as AWS. We're also very aware that societal impact starts with us, and making a positive impact starts with us. So as a result, we announced in 2019 that we'd set the ambitious goal of powering 100% of our infrastructure, or matching 100% of the usage of our infrastructure through renewable energy by 2030. We've met that goal 7 years ahead of schedule. And in South Africa specifically, we launched a 10 megawatt solar plant in the Northern Cape in 2022, which generates around 28,000 megawatt hours of energy a year and is enough to power 8,000 average households in South Africa. We're also committed to being water positive by 2030, and as of the end of last year, we were 41% of the way there. We still have some way to go, but we're making really good progress. We also recognize that one of the biggest blockers to technology adoption is skills. And as AWS in 2020, we announced that we were investing billions of dollars in training 29 million people, enabling 29 million people through free skills by 2025. And earlier this year, we announced that we'd surpassed that goal a year early, having already trained 31 million people. In sub-Saharan Africa, we've trained over 300,000 people already. And if we look at something unique that we did a year ago, was we launched our Cape Town Skills Center, which is the first one outside of the US, right here in South Africa. And since we opened that center, we've had over 20,000 people walk in, get access to skills, get access to certification, and are now starting to enter into the job market. We also believe growth through our partners is critically important, which is why we're investing in SMEs. And we've invested and committed over $20 million to the development of SMEs over the coming years. We've already taken 36 of these SMEs through our program. And I'd like to highlight one of them, which is Reliance Cloud. They are one of our first partners that joined the EIP program. They've since become an advanced AWS partner. They've also become the first African partner, or the first partner on the African continent, to get media and entertainment competency as well, which is no small feat or no small achievement. So well done to them. It shows that we're starting to make an impact there as well. But we know there's so much more that we need to do. I always love this slide because it encapsulates so well the diversity of the customers that are leveraging AWS today right here on the continent. It's only a subset of our customers. As I said, we have tens of thousands of customers running on AWS today. But it's really exciting if you think about that. Startups like Ozo are building on us, all the way through to large enterprises like Pick n Pay, who migrated all of their infrastructure to AWS recently. Or Jacaranda Health in Kenya, who've built Prompts. It's a digital health tool that empowers 2.2 million expecting mothers to be able to get guidance on what they should be doing, how they can get access to healthcare, etc. So really making an impact in society. And finally, you would have seen the AWS team walking around in pink shirts. Please stop, chat to them. If you need to know anything, take the second to engage with them. They're here to help. They're here to guide. And it's an incredibly exciting time that we're in. We have the opportunity to reinvent the future together. We also have the opportunity to solve the planet's hardest problems together. And I'm incredibly privileged to work with each and every one of you at a time where the world is indeed so transformative. So thank you for taking the time, and I really hope you enjoy the Johannesburg Summit. And with that, it's my pleasure now to welcome Dave Brown, who's the Vice President for Compute and Networking at AWS.
Thanks, Chris. Wow, it's great to be back in South Africa. It's my second time at this summit, and it's truly inspiring to hear about the massive momentum that we're seeing here in Johannesburg, across South Africa, and across the continent. The famous science fiction author, Arthur C. Clarke, said any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And it's astonishing to see the projects and ideas from today that were just mere dreams a decade ago. And they're now part of our very reality. In this keynote, you'll see original artwork that you can see up behind me that is brought to life by a collaboration between our designers and generative AI. But before we move further, we need to ask ourselves a question. How have we gotten here? And what does this tell us about where we're going? Well, throughout history, technology breakthroughs have turned the impossible into everyday reality. The Industrial Revolution of the 1800s gave us the interchangeable parts gears. And that brought rise to trains, planes, and automobiles. And this changed the way that we traveled, and it changed the way and what we could produce. And it made the world much, much more connected and much more productive. In 1947, we saw the digital revolution with innovations like the transistor, which created a big bang of electronics that led to life-changing technologies like our phone and our laptop, which I'm sure most of you have with you here today. And this revolutionized communications and made technology a part of our daily lives. And more recently, we had the information age, made possible by the internet, followed by cloud computing and advances in data storage. And this made the world even smaller and even more connected. Now, each of these technological innovations led to decades of new invention and new ideas that were previously just dreams. One example of this is Amazon.com. The invention of the internet allowed us to build an online retail business and serve hundreds of millions of customers around the world, most recently here in South Africa. We also pioneered cloud computing with AWS, and that helps companies of any size build and scale their own business, no matter where they may be, anywhere in the world. Well, in the early days of Amazon.com, we experienced challenges provisioning and managing infrastructure, and it slowed down what we were able to build for our customers. And so AWS set out to revolutionize IT infrastructure to solve this problem for Amazon, and then to make powerful technology accessible to anyone. Even a university student had access to be able to use the same technology used by large companies. On demand, securely, reliably, and cost-effectively. We also turned these technologies into programmable resources, APIs, for compute, networking, storage, and databases. And this removed the need to manage infrastructure and data centers and made innovating so much simpler. AWS continues to innovate, and we now offer over 200 services across 33 regions, one of which, Cape Town, we launched in 2020. And each service is built to remove barriers to innovation. In compute, we've pioneered improvements in security, performance, and scalability, including inventions like the AWS Nitro system, which provides improvements in compute security and performance, and is an invention that we invented 8 years ago and is yet to be matched by any other cloud provider. We've also pioneered custom silicon, where we've built our own silicon to provide performance that gives you more performance for every rand or dollar spent. And in networking, we've enabled building large-scale enterprise network topologies in the cloud using services like Virtual Private Cloud, Transit Gateway, and Private Link. Now, technologies built in this era have enabled customers to transform the world around us. Netflix is a great example, where they completely changed the entertainment experience. They use AWS compute, storage, and our global footprint to stream content to over 190 countries worldwide. Just amazing. Moderna Healthcare completed their mRNA COVID-19 vaccine sequence in just 2 days, using machine learning on AWS. They also were able to ship the first batch of clinical trials in just 25 days after that, a process that typically takes many years. And mPharma, an African healthcare company, they are dedicated to ensuring that everyone has access, everyone on the continent of Africa, has access to safe and affordable pharmaceuticals. mPharma recently received the AWS Health Equity Initiative, which is a 3-year, $60 million commitment from AWS, rooted in the belief that healthcare and outcomes should not depend on social economic status, geography, or ethnicity. Please join me in thanking mPharma for the work that they're doing. And the cloud is setting us up to explore the next era as well. We're on the precipice of yet another tectonic change, a new era of technology brought forth by the advancements in generative AI. These capabilities in this new era will enable us to interpret and interact with data in profoundly new ways. Now, you've seen a lot about this technology in the news, and it is incredibly exciting, and the excitement is palpable. But I encourage you, don't just think about this technology as something that allows you to write poetry or maybe complete a homework assignment. Some of you laughed at that one. But think about how it can bring deep reasoning to your applications. Imagine features that were unthinkable before because you didn't have the capability for human-like reasoning within your program. And this is going to shift, is going to be a fundamental, and it's going to transform the way that we build products and the way that we build businesses. As builders, generative AI gives us a whole new software component, the ability to reason. And it stands to completely revolutionize how we approach some of the world's largest challenges across nearly every industry. And we're already seeing the impact of generative AI. I have to travel a lot for work, and I'm always looking for the best places to eat and things to see. Lonely Planet has been guiding travelers for over 50 years, and they are now developing a generative AI tool on AWS that helps people build incredible itineraries and customize those itineraries as well. They use the Anthropic Claude model on AWS using Amazon Bedrock, and they were able to reduce the itinerary generation cost by nearly 80%. There are other companies leveraging generative AI on AWS as well. Airtable is making it easier for customers to use their data, and they help customers build applications. Evolutionary Scale is a startup that's making it easy to generate brand new proteins and antibodies. And Slack, an application that I think many of us spend a lot of time in, I certainly do, is embedding generative AI capabilities directly into their chat application. And finally, Thomson Reuters is consistently adding information to their vast resources of knowledge and making it easier to use and more useful to everybody. And locally, Huron AI is using Amazon Bedrock to transform cancer care in Kenya, Rwanda, and Nigeria. Now, just as the previous technical eras brought substantial improvements to the world around us, we expect the same from generative AI. It's not just about efficiency. It's automating complex jobs that were previously required human thinking and reasoning. At AWS, we're breaking through technology barriers and making generative AI accessible and easy to use. It's what we've always done, innovating on your behalf, making cutting-edge technologies easy to use, easy to scale, and easy to deploy. To make what you deliver to your customers indistinguishable from magic. An example locally here in Johannesburg is Goldfields. They've harnessed the power of AWS to rapidly innovate and reshape their industry. So, please join me in welcoming the VP and Group Head of Information, Communication, and Technology at Goldfields, Srini Mudali.
We are Goldfields, and we have an aspiration to be the mine of the future. Safer, more sustainable, more efficient, and digitized. To achieve this aspiration, we must become an insights-driven organization, underpinned by AI and cloud technologies. Our work environments are probably different to your environments. We conduct mining operations on many continents. Some of our locations are 4 kilometers below the surface, where temperatures can reach 66 degrees Celsius. And we are also 5,000 meters above sea level in places like the Atacama Desert in Chile, where temperatures can reach minus 20 degrees Celsius. But through it all, we embrace these challenges. Safety of our people, environmental stewardship, uplifting our communities, and returning shareholder value remain the defining elements of our mission. In order to best equip ourselves to embrace these challenges, we have to become future-fit, purpose-led, digital by design, and innovative. Our journey into the future and into the cloud push the boundaries of what is possible in our industry. AI introduces opportunities to improve in all of our mission elements. But moving our data to the cloud were the first steps we needed to take. We turned to AWS as our technology partner, who can keep pace with the environments in which we operate in, which are extreme in ambient conditions, but also remote and difficult to access and service. We were attracted to the AI capabilities, the data and cybersecurity resiliency, and the innovations in communications like Project Kuiper that AWS had to offer. These are high priority items on our transformation journey. At the beginning of our journey, I called a feedback meeting to understand how we were progressing on our cloud journey. And I remember we were a large team trying to fit into this room. And as the team started to introduce themselves, I realized that we were predominantly technical experts on the team. And I began to think that we had just, we were missing the transformative elements on this team, the transformative business elements. But as the team was giving me feedback, I kept on interrupting this team, trying to understand simple concepts. And it was at this point that I realized that I was going to fail this team because I had to up my digital leadership. I taught the new cloud technologies, but there was so much of reskilling and retooling that I had to do. I always live by the philosophy of don't delegate what you don't understand. This project or this journey was at risk of becoming a technical initiative. So we regrouped. We brought in experts from around the world to refocus us to our journey, to our cloud journey. I remember we had a gentleman from AWS that played a cloud simulation game with us. It was brilliant. The team opened up about their concerns, and the game, among other things, helped us to become so much more fluent in our cloud lingo. We neutralized all of the pressure points, and we brought in help. We coined the phrase risk-adjusted people approach. And that was, if you see a risk, mitigate the risk, make sure your people are on board, and then continue with confidence. Creating psychological safety is a key component to creating high-performance teams. I share this with you. Because, as technology leaders, we don't know all the answers. And there's help out there to take you on your cloud adoption journeys. Overcoming our limitations and our gaps in knowledge are key steps that we take as leaders. Deloitte helped us to leverage the migration acceleration program offered by AWS to migrate all of our SAP landscapes in South Africa, in Ghana, in Australia, in Peru, and in Chile. And this was not an easy lift because we operate in multiple compliance jurisdictions, and we are listed on the New York Stock Exchange, bound by the rules of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Overall, these details are important because it highlights the complexity of moving global operations into the cloud. One of the critical lessons that we learned was making sure that we have the right partners on board. Because once you have these right partners on board, it makes your journey so much more predictable and desirable in terms of the outcomes that you want to achieve. With our SAP systems now in the cloud, we are ready as Goldfields to embrace advanced technologies like the industrial data fabric. This in turn helps us establish predictive asset maintenance, computer vision for health and safety, and natural language processing for our documents. So when I say transformative journey, I'm not just talking about people and process. I'm also talking about systems and architectures that need holistic changes. In closing, I would like to share a few reflection points with you thus far in our journey. Number one, in order to take advantage of emerging technologies like AI and generative AI, you need to be in the cloud. Delegate data center responsibilities to AWS and focus on your key mission statements. Number two, choose the right partners and do not base your choice on just technical capability. Think about cultural fit and the road ahead after your workloads are in the cloud. 3, create good working relationships with your compliance teams. Because if there's a data misstep, that's the team you want by your side. And 4, it is not a race, so don't create one. Don't put undue pressure on your team. Give them the mind space to understand how to best take you into the cloud. You have good functioning systems. And lastly, approach the cloud journey with a transformative mindset, not a data center replacement mindset. The migration process, it's straightforward, but the transformative journey, preparing and investing in your teams, choosing the right partners, and exuding the right levels of digital leadership is key to making your journey a success. Thank you.
Thanks, Srini. That's amazing. How were some of those mining statistics? What an environment to work in. And the journey that they went on at Goldfields has just been inspiring. We've loved working with them at AWS. Well, in 2023, many customers began experimenting with generative AI. And it's my belief that AI is going to be in the future. It will be woven into all of our applications, all of our processes, and all of our use cases. In the fullness of time, it's just going to become vanilla. It'll be the new normal. It'll be present in everything that we do. Now, at AWS, we've spent a lot of time building extraordinary innovations across compute, automating infrastructure, building networking, data analytics, developer tools, just to name a few. And today, and for the foreseeable future, we're going to need to lean in on generative AI. And we're going to have to learn together. And we're going to start some of that learning here today. When we think about our generative AI suite of applications, it's helpful to think about them in terms of a stack. At the bottom layer is the infrastructure to train and run foundation models and large language models in production. At the middle layer, we provide access to models that you need and tools that you need to build and scale generative AI applications. And finally, at the top layer are applications built to leverage foundation models and large language models that take advantage of generative AI capabilities, with no specialized knowledge required. Now, when it comes to machine learning, there are two types of workloads: training and inference. Training is creating and improving foundation models by learning from vast amounts of data. And inference uses those models to generate output like text and images and video. Now, many of you here today won't engage directly with building foundation models. But our deep investment at these layers enhances the higher level services. Tools like SageMaker make it easy to build and train models and manage the entire model lifecycle. Now, to make generative AI use cases economical and feasible, which is desperately needed, we need incredibly performant and cost-effective infrastructure, purpose-built for generative AI. And we start with the latest NVIDIA GPUs, the H100. These EC2 instances are built on the very latest compute technology and are deeply integrated with storage and networking services. They have a broad array of orchestration options and are integrated with open source frameworks for large language model training. Our elastic fabric adapter networking can provision ultra clusters of up to 20,000 GPUs. And that will support the world's largest generative AI workloads. And all of these innovations make AWS the best place to run NVIDIA GPUs. In fact, when NVIDIA themselves were looking to build the world's largest AI supercomputer, they came to AWS to solve their problem. Let's take a closer look.
AI researchers these days have so many amazing new ideas to bring AI from the lab into the real world. To do that, we need enormous amounts of compute. Project Seba is showing up at just the right time to help us do that.
Project Sabre is a joint initiative between AWS and NVIDIA to build one of the world's largest AI supercomputers with over 20,000 Grace Blackwell GPUs, all running within AWS data centers.
NVIDIA and AWS have a long-standing history of deep technical co-innovation. This first-of-its-kind supercomputer is being built using the new NVIDIA GB200 NVLink 72, a system featuring fifth-generation NVLink, which connects 10,000 NVIDIA Grace CPUs to the GPUs, and is capable of 414 exaflops of compute. Project Seba is hosted exclusively on AWS via DGX Cloud.
Project Sabre comes with many engineering challenges because we're really pushing the boundaries of what's been possible in AI. The move from our current 8 GPUs in a single peer-to-peer NVLink mesh or single server to 72 GPUs is an order of magnitude increase in just one product generation.
Ultimately, our collaboration will democratize access for any researcher to supercomputing. Researchers can run short bursts of exaflop-scale compute to solve the world's hardest problems, such as NVIDIA's Earth-2 climate prediction, creating digital twins for manufacturing and robotics, designing the next generation of autonomous vehicle systems, or drug discovery to bring treatments to patients living with hard-to-treat diseases.
I've been doing AI research on AWS for over 10 years, and because of that experience, I have confidence that AWS will continue to provide highly scalable, reliable infrastructure that we need for tomorrow's generative AI.
It's been a lot of fun innovating with NVIDIA and building that supercomputer, and we're super excited to see what they do with that. And over the past 5 years, we've also been investing deeply in our own custom silicon. This is silicon designed and built and deployed by AWS. And it's already led to significant cost reductions in ML training and inference. AWS Trainium chips can reduce training costs by up to 50%. That's half. And AWS Inferentia chips can reduce inference costs by up to 40% for comparable EC2 instances. And the benefits of our custom silicon extend beyond just cost and performance. That also improves sustainability. And this enables customers to reduce energy that they need when training and inferencing, something that is critically important in our society today. Now, when customers start building with generative AI, they typically ask a few questions. Things like, which model should I use? How can I move quickly? How can I keep my data secure and private? And that's why we're investing in the middle layer. It's also why we built Amazon Bedrock. Amazon Bedrock is the easiest way to build and scale generative AI applications and give you access to large language models and foundation models. Customers in virtually every industry around the world are using Amazon Bedrock to reinvent user experiences, products, and processes, and bring AI to the heart of their business. Amazon Bedrock is a fully managed service and offers a choice of high-performing foundation models from leading AI companies. Now, this choice of models allows you to find the sweet spot and precisely match your use case to the right model. If you need a model that's really, really fast, Amazon Bedrock has that. If you need a model that's really, really capable and super intelligent, AWS Bedrock has that as well. Or maybe you need a model that is really, really low cost because you're going to run it millions of times every single day. Turns out Amazon Bedrock has that as well. It also allows customers to import models based on common model architectures, and also allows you to tune those models and combine multiple models in a single application, giving you all the benefits of AI training. Now, customer choice is incredibly important and something that we believe deeply in, broadly across AWS. And in this space, we believe that no one model will rule them all. It's still early days in generative AI, and models will continue to evolve at an unprecedented pace. We've already seen that in just the last 18 months. So customers need flexibility. They need to be able to use different models at different times for different use cases. And Amazon Bedrock even provides a model evaluation tool that helps you choose just the right model for your use case. Now, we also need generative AI to be deployed in a safe, trustworthy, and responsible fashion. That is our North Star. Generative AI offers such incredible promise in what we can do from an innovation point of view, but it also comes with the potential for misuse. So we need to unlock the potential for innovation while mitigating the risks of misuse. And to do that, we built guardrails for Bedrock. Guardrails helps you easily implement safeguards for generative AI applications that can be customized based on your requirements for responsible AI inside your company. There's one other critical component that we have to think about when it comes to generative AI applications, and that is your data. Your data is the thing that allows you to build generative AI applications that are unique to your business. Your data is your differentiator. And to make the most of your data, it must be up-to-date, accurate, discoverable, and available, no matter where it resides. And the first step to doing that is to make sure that your data is in the cloud. One customer that understands the power of their data is Adobe. Let's take a look at what they've been doing.
Sorry, we're picking up your bracelets on the mic.
You could Gen AI them out.
For decades at Adobe, we've been pushing technology to help creative professionals create content.
The pace of innovation right now is really high. AWS has been instrumental in helping us scale up to meet our needs.
Firefly is our family of foundational generative models. We've built our training and inference infrastructure on top of Amazon EC2 and Amazon S3. We use EFA technology for fast machine-to-machine communication and fleets of NVIDIA P4, P5s that enable us to train large models very fast.
Generative AI is an ingredient in a creator's creative process. Creators can ideate with this new generative technology and take that further within the applications that they use.
And doing all of those things in seconds. More than 5 billion images have been generated in the last 11 months. We wouldn't have been able to navigate that growth without the help from AWS.
and there's so much more to come, expanding our family of foundational models and maturing those capabilities.
That's the future, embracing this rapid innovation. It's the new digital literacy. It's required for any company these days.
Can't wait to see what our customers are going to do with that.
Wow. It's amazing to see what Adobe's been able to do with some of the generative AI in the graphics space, and it's been really great working with them. I've also spent years working with customers on digital transformation projects in the cloud. And the key to these digital transformation projects is typically the customer's data. Every modern business is a data business. And now we're having the conversation about how do these customers use their data in a generative AI application. Across all of these use cases, as we work with the customers, a strong data foundation includes comprehensive, integrated set of services, tools to govern the data across the end-to-end workflow, and now includes thinking about generative AI. Think of generative AI applications as just another application type, and which sits on top of your existing data foundation. That means that you want to plug in your existing data sources, things like S3, the operational databases in RDS and other services, or use data building blocks that you're familiar with already. That's your high-quality enterprise data that customizes the generative AI application for your business. Amazon Bedrock offers a complete set of capabilities in the data space that will help you create applications using your data and making those applications relevant to your business. These capabilities include things like fine-tuning and retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, and agents that help you take and execute actions using your data sources. At today's summit, we're going to explore a number of these different types of data transformations, and later we will show you a simple way to implement RAG. At AWS, security and privacy is always our top priority, and it's woven into the very culture and fabric of our organization and every service that we release, including Amazon Bedrock. Amazon Bedrock will help you protect your data and make sure that your data is never used to train a model other than your own, that your data remains private and is used in secure containers when you actually fine-tune any model, and that we always have end-to-end encryption throughout the AI lifecycle. Amazon Bedrock also supports strict compliance, protecting your customers' personal identifiable information. Now, many of you here have used AWS to modernize and evolve your enterprise systems for years. And now you have an opportunity to use generative AI on AWS for the same transformative effect. And to tell us more about how they built on AWS and are now reinventing with data, please join me in welcoming the Chief Information Officer of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, Tabalo Tuwali.
The financial industry is at a critical juncture. Exchanges are exploring future technological landscapes while grappling with business, regulatory, and technological challenges. We are experiencing a convergence of executive and technological layers, signaling a shift in the industry's paradigm. It's time to move beyond the technical jargon. We need to bridge the gap between technology and C-suite executives, focusing on practical business applications and solutions that drive real-world outcomes. At the JSE, we are driven for South Africa's growth. Formed in 1887, we have operated a marketplace for trading financial products for 136 years. Today, JSE is the largest stock exchange in Africa. It is also one of the top 20 exchanges in the world by market capitalization. With innovation at the heart of what we do, we continue to embed ourselves as a center of innovation of capital markets on the African continent. In 2012, JSE equity trading platform, Millennium IT, was launched. This symbolized significant progress in the electronification of capital markets ecosystem in South Africa. In 2014, JSE Co-location was launched, a solution that provides market participants with rack space and power-only offering in the JSE primary data center. 2020 saw the launch and introduction of the AWS region in Cape Town. For the JSE, this marked a significant milestone in our journey in terms of our migration to the cloud. This presented an opportunity for us to start innovating by leveraging cloud technology. In 2023, JSE Colo 2.0 was launched, an advanced managed infrastructure as a service solution that provides market participants with cloud-based co-location services to take advantage of low latency connectivity. Hosting infrastructure in the co-location facility allows for the fastest access to the JSE markets with a latency of approximately 20 microseconds compared to the existing 2,400 microsecond within the surrounding Sandton area, an astounding 120 times faster. In 2023, we also launched the JSE Private Placements platform, which offers services to private entities looking to raise debt or equity through an automated and digitized platform. Today, JSE operates 5 financial markets. JSE plays a crucial role in facilitating investment and capital formation in South Africa and the broader African continent. JSE provides a secure, resilient, and highly available marketplace for trading, post-trade clearing, settlement, market data, risk management, and world-class regulation. As a financial market infrastructure provider, we serve millions of investors globally and in South Africa and the wider continent in Africa. Resilience is in our DNA. We need to continue to operate a resilient market that is supported by technology that is hyper-scalable, ultra-resilient, and highly performant. Market availability is key for us as a financial market infrastructure provider. We need to continue to operate a highly available market in line with our committed SLAs to our market participant ecosystem. The urgency for core transformation comes from a balance of the demands clients have, the state of their infrastructure, and the aim to create a more robust infrastructure. Modernizing core platforms reflects the absolute requirements for resilience and performance while driving key business needs forward. Through our partnership with AWS, we seek to power a truly cloud-based marketplace infrastructure that is modern, hyper-scalable, ultra-resilient, and highly performant, and also accessible for all market participants. Over the next decade, we will be embarking on the next era of innovation as we seek to bring the cloud to the capital markets ecosystem. Through our partnership with AWS, we will start building the next generation marketplace infrastructure that is set to power the capital markets ecosystem of the future. Our cloud journey began with the migration of less latency sensitive workloads into the cloud. We will leverage the next generation marketplace infrastructure to start migrating the low and ultra low latency workloads into the cloud. We will leverage the hybrid cloud capabilities of AWS Outposts to bring edge computing directly into our primary data center. We will also turn the data center into the first private local zone and make proximity to our markets accessible to a wider market participant base. We will leverage AWS Outposts to bring compute performance uplift for our matching engine, resulting in reduced round-trip latency, faster trade execution, improved price discovery, and lastly, increased liquidity. With generative AI going mainstream in 2024, the JSE will leverage AWS's generative AI capabilities to address several Gen AI-related use cases in our risk management space, our market surveillance space, and lastly, our issuer regulation space. Through the creation of a truly cloud-based infrastructure for the capital markets ecosystem, our participants will benefit in a variety of ways. They will definitely realize reduced unit cost of processing, elastic on-demand resources with pay-as-you-go pricing, flexible and scalable compute and storage, and lastly, reduced round-trip latency, faster trade execution, improved price discovery, and increased liquidity. Globally, capital market firms are seeking to rebuild and engineer their operating models, implement cost savings, and boost efficiency. The aspiration for the next wave of digital transformation to accelerate go-to-market, enhance security, enrich customer experience, and lastly, enable better data-driven decision-making. Together with AWS, we will continue building the next generation marketplace infrastructure to power a truly cloud-based capital markets ecosystem of the future. As the race to zero latency persists due to explosion in volumes, investor participation, we will continue to leverage AWS edge computing to further address challenges in the latency, resilience, synchronization, and time-stamping spectrums. We will leverage the AWS local zone to create a holistic cloud ecosystem for market participants, while also bringing them within close proximity to our markets. We will accelerate our adoption of Gen AI by leveraging AWS capabilities such as Amazon Bedrock, Amazon SageMaker, and lastly, Amazon Q. Together, we will redefine the future of capital markets and power a truly cloud-based marketplace infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you, Tupalo. Those are not easy workloads to run, and it's amazing to be partnering with the JSE to run those workloads on AWS. So examples like that really do inspire us. Now, many customers, and maybe many of you, want to be able to take advantage of AI without even building an application. Instead, you want to be able to integrate your enterprise data into an AI application and take advantage of large language models and foundation models quickly and easily, with no machine learning expertise needed whatsoever. And for that, we built Amazon Q. Amazon Q is our generative AI assistant that can be tailored for your business. It's built with security and privacy in mind from the start, and it makes it easy for you to deploy generative AI safely inside your organization. It also is built for multiple areas of expertise and meets the needs of different users and groups and roles within your organization. Today, we want to focus on the developer and look at what Amazon Q can do for developers. Amazon Q Developer transforms how you build at every step of the development lifecycle. Amazon Q is where you work, ready to assist you in the AWS Management Console, in the documentation, inside your IDE, and even inside your team chat on Slack. And to help us see what we can build with generative AI, I want to introduce one of our incredible developer advocates from Johannesburg, Veliswa Boya.
Now imagine you're a developer and you work for this big pharmaceutical company. This company has got a research team whose role is to do development and discovery of drugs. They access academic papers for their research using this Java portal. The challenge is that this portal isn't really up to date with the right tagging, metadata, and context that the team needs to do the searches and the categorization. You've been hearing about generative AI, and you think this could be the solution to the problem. So what you will do, after you've looked to see what models are in Amazon Bedrock, what you will do is to build a generative AI application where you will interact with Amazon Bedrock to do the summarization and the categorization that is needed for the portal. And then what you will then do once you've done that, you will update your Java application to now call this Lambda function that you have created to interact with Amazon Bedrock. The challenge is that, okay, you're not an AI expert, but that's fine because Amazon Bedrock makes it quite easy for you to get started to build generative AI-enabled applications using the unified API. So you hop on over to your favorite IDE, and you ask Q how to start calling this Amazon Bedrock model that you've decided to call to do the summarization and the categorization that you need. Q gets back to you with the step-by-step instructions that you need to get started, with a code that you need to get started, and a brief explanation of what this code does. You press Inserted Cursor to copy the code across to your application. So you saw that with a few lines of code, you were able to invoke a model. And you just had Dave just now say that no single model wins it all. So you think maybe try out a different model. And this time you think maybe Anthropic Claude 3 Sonnet will be the one that you will try out. And again, you hop on over to your IDE and you ask Q how to call this other model. And Q will get back to you with the step-by-step instructions on how to get started, with the code that you need, and a brief explanation of what that code does. And again, you now update your application by pressing Inserted Cursor to now insert this new code into your application. So the next thing, remember we said we want to make sure that the Java application can call this Lambda function. And for that, you're going to need a Lambda handler. And using natural language inside your application, you tell Q what it is that you want. And within seconds, Q will get back to you with the code that you need for your Lambda handler. So that's that. Your Lambda function is now done. And now it's time to move across to your Java application because you do want to update that so that it calls your Lambda function. But we did say you're new here, so you don't know how this application actually works. And developers, we know this. You know that this application is not documented. So hop on over to Amazon Q and ask what this application actually does. And Q will get back to you with a detailed explanation of what that application does. Q will even tell you if there are any parts of the application that need to be updated. You can take it a step further and ask Q to give you the code that you need so that you can now call your Lambda function from your Java application. And Q will do that and even tell you the exact location in your Java application where you can insert this new code that you have. And now you have all your code done just like that, and now it's time for you to start testing your Lambda function. And you now hop on over to your AWS console and you start to test your Lambda function. But as soon as it starts to execute, you are getting this error that you were not expecting. And as a developer, you go, "Eish, how do I fix it?" But before you even take time trying to figure that out, you can just press the Troubleshoot with Amazon Q button. And just like that, Q will get back to you with an explanation of what the problem is. And if you press the resolution button, you'll also get to see how you can actually solve this problem. And now you have all your issues resolved, and you've got all your code ready. And what you now have is a portal that is ideal for the research team in that it has the summarization they need, it has the metadata that they need, and it has the tagging. And you really could end here, but we did say that you're new here, and you do want to impress. And you have an opportunity with all this data in the form of the academic papers sitting in the S3 bucket. And this gives you an opportunity to build an even better portal for the research team. So what you will do, You will connect S3 to Amazon Bedrock knowledge bases, and with that, you will then be able to perform retrieval augmented generation, RAG, which is a great way for you to bring your own data to generative AI. Again, hop on over to your favorite IDE and ask Q, how do you include knowledge bases for RAG in your application? And just like that, Q will get back to you with the code that you need to get started, with the step-by-step instructions and an explanation of this code. And you can again update your application by pressing the Insert Add Cursor button. This now means that when you invoke the model, you also get to retrieve data from your own data source, meaning that your retrievals and your responses are now more accurate and more relevant. So we saw that with knowledge bases, you are able to build applications that have complex generative AI capabilities. And you're able to do this more effectively, more speedily, and more importantly, more securely. Thank you very much. And now it's back to Dave.
Thanks, Veliswa. That's amazing. I wish I had Amazon Q when I used to write code back in the day. As you can see, Amazon Q solves problems across the entire development lifecycle, from planning to writing, debugging, testing, documenting, and even upgrading code. It's an all-in-one generative AI-powered assistant, and customers are seeing phenomenal results. NAB, the National Australia Bank, loves Amazon Q, and they've deployed the ability to do customized code recommendations. And with these recommendations, NAB has seen that developers are more effectively onboarding as new engineers, and it also helps developers ramp up on new code bases. And the results have been impressive. They've seen a 50% code acceptance rate, with over 40% of developers seeing improved productivity. And the adoption has more than doubled with employees using Amazon Q Developer. They've gone from 450 to 1,000 developers in just a few short months. Now, we continue to see soaring demand for AWS technologies in Johannesburg and across the continent. And we've made a commitment to ensuring that our users receive adequate training. As we said earlier, a few years ago, we took a goal to train 29 million people around the world on AWS technologies such as AI, ML, and generative AI. And we've exceeded that goal already. We also have extensive AI learning resources with over 100 courses and learning resources available on AI, ML, and generative AI, available through the AWS Skills Builder and AWS Educate. And we hope that each of these beneficiaries, as part of this program, become active members of the growing AWS community. Now, a local success story is Mpumelelo Pinky. She chose in-person training at the AWS Skills Center in Cape Town to avoid issues like Wi-Fi and data costs and load shedding. And she was able to achieve her AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner certificate. Pinky's with us today. She's also an active member in the community and manages a WhatsApp group with other AWS Skills Center Cape Town graduates and shares information about tech events. And she's been able to apply the skills that she's learned at work by building a consulting bot using Amazon Connect for her employer. Congrats, Pinky. It's amazing what you've been able to do. Today, we have over 260 AWS heroes across 56 countries, including 5 located right here in sub-Saharan Africa. And these heroes share their enthusiasm for knowledge sharing, which has a tangible impact on the broader AWS community. Now, whether you're integrating generative AI into your applications or you're looking to build more efficient applications and efficiencies, there's never been a better time to build. Now, we may not have been around for the invention of the interchangeable parts or the transistor, and some of us here may not even have been around for the birth of the internet. But these breakthroughs have led to inventions that have transformed our lives and changed the world around us. And what you are all inventing today and tomorrow can lead to profound impact on the world. It has the potential to change industries and people's lives. So while you're at the summit today, make sure you take some time to learn about the tools and solutions and partners that AWS has that can help you achieve those goals. And I want to leave you with one question. What magic will you build? Thank you. I look forward to seeing you all at the summit here in Johannesburg.